I'm going to talk to you today about leading by example, or exemplifying the behavior that you want to see in other people. You have it in you, it's part of you, it surfaces often, it's recognizable very little, but you can be a leader and have these traits. A little bit something about me, how I got here. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan in 1950, which makes me, she said old. I think that's an HR issue right there. I went to an all-boy Catholic grade school and an all-boy Catholic high school, which makes me screwed up, very screwed up. I had the Sisters of Mercy, which is an oxymoron, and the Basilian Priests of Toronto, Canada. When I graduated from high school, I had a pretty good average. I went to college, and I flunked out in 2 quarters with a 0.6 grade point average. How is that? I didn't pay attention to anything except co-eds, and during the Vietnam War, and I ended up in the Navy. Spent great years in the Navy, got out, graduated from the University of Michigan. Any MGO Blue fans? No hands there. Florida State? All right. Rutgers University? All right, very good. Okay, I was a fugitive going between educational institutions. I taught college for about 8 years. I was a tenured professor in criminal justice, research, and statistics. And then the FBI called and said, would you like to join? So I did. 1984, my hair was longer than Sandy's. I had a beard down to here. The interview was rather remarkable. But I got called and came back, and I joined the FBI. Became a special agent for over 20 years. And 10 years, I did nothing but homicides, rapes, and kidnappings, extortions, and fugitives. Much like how you have your personnel records. Okay. When I retired, and then I ran a couple offices, and my last career was the Leadership Development Institute at the FBI Academy. And I retired in 2004, became a chief learning officer for 2 big companies on the East Coast in Washington, D.C. Started a company, sold that one, and now I have a little company that I help military veterans as they're transitioning out. But that's a talk for Wednesday if you're here at 10 o'clock or 10:30. So that's what brought me here to the stage. Leading by example. It's all about this little acronym right here. The nuns taught me well. This acronym, I see relief. This acronym is all about leadership traits that you have. How many of you have worked for great leaders? How many of you have worked for not such great leaders? And you know the difference. It's pretty simple. And just because you're in the C-suite or just because you have a title doesn't make you an effective leader. I know people at entry level, even janitors within an organization, that have exhibited more and better, much better, leadership traits than the C-suite ever does. You can look around you. The examples are profound just in today's news. Okay? Whether you're Republican or Democrat, conservative or liberal, in an industry that is related by technology or government contracting. There is some crazy stuff going on out there. Okay? And it's all out there because nobody has really put into operation leadership traits and tried to live them each and every day. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm saying that it has the potential to be much better than it is. So this little license plate I have on my desk at work, in my home office, and I look at it every day. And it reminds me when I start the day that I should start to lead by example through I see relief. Sometimes I'm really good at it, sometimes not so much. But you have to be resilient and pick yourself up. So let's look at what these initials mean. I means me, or you. You have to embrace this. You have to take it, and you have to own it. Okay? This is all about you. Nobody else can help you be a leader or exhibit traits like this. The C stands for many things. Choice, change, commitment, control, confidence. Let's look at choice. Did you have a choice to come here today? Yes. I'm glad you did. Okay? Absolutely. Choices. The choices that you make, the things that you say, the things that you do. And believe me, people watch. So if I say something, but that I do not exhibit the behavior, people, they notice that. Okay? You have to be good to your word. The choices you make are very important. What you do and what you say. So yesterday was Father's Day. How many fathers? Congratulations, all of us. I have 2 beautiful daughters in their late 20s, both very successful, and they sent me Roche sneakers, Roche sneakers. They're from Nike. It's a brand. They look beautiful in the package, and they live in D.C. and L.A. And I opened them up, and they FaceTime me, and I said, these are great, and I put them on. I said the right thing. Greatest pair of sneakers I ever got. Okay? When FaceTime went off, I would never wear those things a day in my life. Okay? But I chose not to share that with them, and I know they're not here. They'll never know. When they come to visit, guess what sneakers I'll have on? Those sneakers. Okay? When I was getting ready to come here to town, my wife said, would you like some breakfast before you leave? I said, sure. And she goes, how about Pop-Tarts? Great. And as I said, please pass me the Pop-Tarts, I could have said, are you going to the gym as often as you should? Good choice or bad choice? Bad choice. I could say, listen, when I get back, I'm going to go to the gym. You like to join me? That'd be great. The things you say and the things you do resonate with other people. Choice, change. Change is inevitable. All of you agree? It's going to happen. You can't control it. Life's ups and downs. How many of you have experienced a structural change in your organizations? Easy or difficult? Difficult. How about a cultural change in your organization? That's amazing too. So cultural change, structural change. Easy or structural? All change is either gradual or abrupt. Which would you rather have, an abrupt or a gradual change? Gradual. We all want that, but sometimes it can't be avoided. How many of you eat lobster? How many of you cook your own lobster? You know, take that lobster, throw it in boiling water, it squeals a little bit, but 20 minutes later, you have lobster. What did the lobster experience? An abrupt change in their environment, okay? Much to your benefit with a little drawn butter. Change, abrupt or gradual, very important. Post 9/11, the FBI had to change from a reactive, proactive criminal investigation organization to counterterrorism. Structurally, it happened like that. Culturally, it's still in the throes of finishing it off, and this is 17 years later. But right now in the FBI, if you spoke to a new agent and asked them, so do you investigate bank robberies or fugitives? They say, no, we don't do that. Did we ever do that? Because the historical cultural change has occurred. Okay, I probably wouldn't fit in the new FBI. I was a product of the old FBI. But I can appreciate the change, structural and cultural, that they went through. So choice, change, I'm looking at my time. What do I have? 18 minutes. Choice, change, commitment. How many of you are committed? You committed? To your spouse, your partner, your job, okay? You have to be committed. Committed to be the best that you can become, no less than the best. How about control? How many of you are in control? Nobody's in control? Well, most things. What's one thing that we have in common? Just blurt it out. What do we all have in common in this audience? Time. We have time. 24 hours a day. What distinguishes us from each other? What we do with the time. Okay? What you do with the time. How many of you have ever been to meetings? How many have ever been to meetings from hell? Ever been to a meeting and say, what the hell am I doing here? Yes. Okay, so imagine I'm in control of a meeting, but I'm not very good at it. But Sandy, I'm going to pick on Sandy because I can read her tag here. Sandy's really good. She works with me. And I'm not relinquishing the control of the meeting. But somebody whispers in my ear and says, Sandy should be running these meetings. Control. Control what you're capable of and give away, coach, and mentor other people that are more proficient and effective in the functions that you can let go. That's control. Choice, change, commitment, control. Confidence. How many of you are confident? Do I look confident? Wasn't always this way. Remember, all-boy Catholic grade school, very shy young ladies. And so I wanted to go to the 8th grade dance. And my mother, who passed away many years ago, she taught me how to dance, okay? Which probably not like they dance today, but she taught me how to dance. And I remember her telling me, it was girls on one side, boys on the other. When the song starts playing, just walk over, find her, and dance with her. And sure enough, it worked, and then all the girls wanted to dance with me. I think I might have said 5 words that entire time, but I danced every song. Confidence. Have the confidence to be who you are on a regular basis. Be committed to being a leader, a very effective leader, but think about the leadership traits that you utilize every single day. Choice, change, commitment, control, confidence. R is responsibility. Responsibility and accountability go hand in hand. Absolutely. You're responsible for your actions, and you're also responsible for your inactions. When you see something wrong, legally or morally, is it your responsibility to speak up? The answer is yes. Okay? A good leader would speak up, regardless of the consequences, because you're doing the right thing. I try to teach both of my daughters how to be responsible and accountable. The oldest one, at 5 years old, she wanted to be allowance, $5 a Saturday. What for? Dresses for her Barbie dolls. 5 things, 5 days, $5. Worked like a charm for a few months. Probably a couple months into it, she comes for the money and she goes, I'm ready. I go, sorry, no money today. She goes, you no longer have money? No, plenty of money. But you didn't make your bed on Wednesday. You were late. You missed that big yellow limousine on Thursday. Your mom had to take you to school. No allowance. So she said, how about $4? Responsibility and accountability go hand in hand all the way down that path. The E stands for enthusiasm, and you heard the speaker before me talk about enthusiasm. You have to be enthusiastic. Are you all enthusiastic? Yeah. How about him being in New Orleans? Great town. Absolutely great town. Anybody been to the French Quarter yet? Casino? SHRM classes? Okay, there you go. Finally. All right. You have to be enthusiastic. Leadership is for the L. Actual leadership itself. You make a mistake, own it. Learn from it. Try not to repeat it. But the biggest thing about being a leader is listening to people. Listening to them intuitively, actively, making sure that you understand what it is, the issue, the problem, the correspondence, whatever it is, you have to actively listen to them. So let's do a little experiment. Everybody take your finger and your thumb and go like this. Put it up high. Okay, now I want you to put it on your chin. Chin. Most of you failed miserably. Okay, that's okay. It's better to fail here. Leadership is about active listening. I is an investment. Investment. Invest in yourself and you invest in other people as well. How many of you are actively engaged going back to school and getting a degree? Associates, bachelor's, master's, beyond. How many of you are working on or you already have your PHR or SPHR or other professional certifications? How many of you just are voracious readers and you read the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, you read all the HR magazines and all the content? That's investing in yourself as well. That's a great investment. But the other part of a leader is somebody that invests in other people. How many of you give back? You give back? Yeah, she said, yes, I do, absolutely. Whether you belong to the church, a church, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, whatever it is, you have to give back. So that investment becomes a part of who you are, personally, professionally, and giving back, you're able to pay it forward. Leave a legacy, not only within your organization and within your family, but for everybody that you touch, that you can exemplify the behavior that they will follow. If you join the American Diabetes Association and you get involved in their step-out walks, they will too. Just pay attention, watch them, listen, and learn. The other E is for expectant attitude. Not expectorant, that's a Robitussin, but expectant attitude. The attitude that you bring to the game every single day. Very positive attitude. Okay, woe is me is not going to work. You want to have the most upbeat, resilient attitude possible. That goes along with the enthusiasm. You want to have an expectant attitude that is just off the charts. How many of you buy lottery tickets? I went to a convenience store this morning, bought $10 a quick pick for the Mega Millions. I've done that same thing for about 30, 35 years. How many times have I won? 0. I'm due. It's going to happen. And tomorrow, when I see you around, ask and you go on the trip, a big cruise trip we're going to take. Enthusiasm, expect an attitude. They go hand in hand. And then lastly, fun. How many of you have fun? You enjoy life? Really enjoy life. Okay? Not just work all day, but you got to work hard and you got to play hard. There's a poem. How many of you ever read the poem The Dash? And if you haven't read it, I want you to look it up and I want you to read it. It's a very simple poem, about 1 page long. And that poem says everything about fun and enjoying life to its fullest. The day you were born, the day you die, that's on your tombstone. The dash, that's your life. Okay? And everything about that dash is about you. You can have a bad day at work, you don't bring it home because there's other things going on. The object of life is not to arrive at the grave in pristine condition. Rather, slide in, bruised, having a good time, wishing for another couple months. Probably won't happen, but at least you're thinking about it. My actual goal in life, to live to 105. Now, I don't know if any of you will be around, but if you are, we're going to have some fun on my birthday. Fun, okay? Fun. Fun also means enjoying the ambiance of life in your work environment. So FBI, pretty conservative, but we found ways to have fun. Whenever a new agent would come to field office, they'd inevitably leave their coat, their sport coat, their suit coat on the back of a chair. They go off and do something, and then we'd look for their credentials in their pocket, and we find it, and then we take a little picture of Mickey Mouse and tape it on over their face. And inevitably, okay, they go to some case, go to show their credentials, and the people would laugh hysterically. And they go, "What are you laughing at? I'm an FBI agent." "Well, you look like Mickey Mouse." It works, okay? Have things that are not too serious. One of my favorite ones, and I'll leave you with this. One of the categories that's not EEO problems is how many people know people who are cheap? It seems the higher they go, the cheaper they get. Well, I had a friend who, her shirt sleeves would fray, and he'd look at Arrow shirt, and he'd send it off, and they sent him a free shirt. We go out for pizza, and everybody split it New York style, the price. He'd say, "I just had a slice of cheese and water. I'm going to give you half of that." Cheap, very cheap. So one day we found out he sent a letter to Campbell Soup Company saying, "I cut myself on a can of chunky chicken noodle soup." We played that to the hilt, absolute hilt. We got a letterhead and stationery from Campbell Soup. Anybody from Campbell's in the audience? Okay, the statute of limitations is gone. And we sent a letter to him saying, "Please join us for a very nice guest relation meal and some other little tchotchkes we're going to give you." And so he got dressed up one day and he looked really, really good. We got an undercover van, a microphone, a camera, and we taped him going in. He's looking really good. He gets in there and of course nothing's happening, but we let him order the meal, almost $180 for lunch, waiting on Campbell to show up. When he came out, on the hood of his car, his government car, right on the emblem of the Dodge, was a honed out can of Campbell's Chunky Noodle Soup. He sees that, he whacks it off, and he's given us a couple expletive deleteds. We lived on that forever. Have fun, enjoy life, and really enjoy the rest of the conference. And I know my time is up by 1 second. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, come on and join me.